Investor Summit. My name is Jack Bosch, and I'm here today, not alone, I'm here in person with Courtney Kaylor, my co-host today.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yes, if you have attended any of our prior different kind of training sessions that we have done, Courtney has been on as my co-host here before, usually virtually, Leslie on Zoom, but she lives in town, so it's like, hey, it's come over.
Yep.
Let's do this together. It's wonderful to have you here
Yeah.
together with us. I'll give you a chance to introduce yourself in just a
Not a
second.
problem.
I want to quickly go through and just welcome everyone. While you all are streaming in, while we have hundreds of people joining us right now, I think in a matter of seconds already, many people came in. I want to welcome you to this Land Profit Land Investor Summit right now. Now, this is not the typical kind of training program that you sometimes go through. This is not just the standard kind of like thing where we just, I don't know, where we just like tell you a bunch of stuff and repeat the stuff that you've heard again and again and again from us. No, we're going to go into a deep dive of what's working right now, what's working in the market right now, what's working given the world circumstances that we're in right now, this is not a masterclass. This is a summit, right? A gathering of the top 1% land investors. You're going to meet a whole bunch of them, either be them as students, customers coming in. They're crushing it right now and sharing them successes, or some of our coaches sharing what they're doing right now in their own businesses, and they're with the 1% land investors. We're sharing really what's working right now in the land space. And here's the thing, guys. We are living in strange times, aren't we? We're living in strange times. Like, who agrees with me on that? Give me a heck yes. Actually, let me pull up my chat box here. Where is the chat box? Right there, so I can actually see you guys' comments. So first of all, everyone, go into the comments box and give me a big hello, or give us a big hello.
Yes.
I want to see, I see Kayla Marie says hello. Faith said, yep, hello. Give me a hello. And so, yeah, we're living in strange times right now, and that in times where there's a lot of uncertainty, you don't know what's happening politically, who is attacking who is going to war with whom, who is doing what kind of things here left and right. The world is kind of it seems like the world is broken. The old rules no longer work. So what's happening in a world like that is that people are looking for safety.
Yes.
Right? People are looking for simplicity and for wealth that they can control. Right? So who agrees with me on that? What happened with gold and silver just recently? It just exploded in value,
Yes.
right? Gold went from something like $1,800 to over $5,000 temporarily. That pulled back. I don't know where it is right now, but silver, same thing, went from whatever it was, 30, 40 to over 100.
Yes.
And then I think it pulled back again a little bit, but who knows where it is right now. But what that is it's an indication that in a world where we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, there is a need for safety, security, and the smart money is moving into hard assets. And hard assets are obviously gold, silver. Some people consider it crypto too, but there's also some speculative thing around it. But land is also one of these things. So we are going to go, but not just any land. There's a bunch of land that most other people out there are teaching how to get that you can be successful with, but be my guest and go after the cheap crap, the crappy cheapo land, kind of the $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 pieces of land. Can you make money with those? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we are going to talk about the kind of land in this summit that can make you a six-figure, multiple six-figure, and even get you to a seven-figure business. That is not an earnings claim. That is not a promise that you'll do that. That is simply what we see happening in our customer base, in our own life. Because we're putting our money where our mouth is, and we're going to show you exactly what we invest in. Right? So again, this summit is not for everyone. This is for those who are willing to invest. Right? Yeah. If you have no money, if you're absolutely broke, feel free to stay with us and everything like that. But this 5 days here might not be for you, because what we're going to show you is how to literally get deals done that make you six figures, multiple six figures, seven-figure deals. And for those, you do need to have some money.
Yeah.
You need to have some money for systems. You have to need some money for marketing, and you have to have some money, more than anything, to put things in place and actually take advantage of those deals and have the proper guidance, right? So if you're like have like $2 to your name or something like that, then welcome. You gotta get inspiration hopefully out of this. It's all good, but this might not be the right place for you. If you have 20, 30 grand or something like that, that the investable funds, cash that you could put to use and 10x that, 100x that in your life, then welcome. But here's one thing that I want to do before we get started. I want to ask for your commitment. Like, I want to ask for your commitment. And what I mean by that, I want you to commit to play full out. I want you to commit to participate. I want you to commit to actually do the homework here. I want you to commit to participate in the chat box. I want you to commit to watch the replays. Like, can I get this commitment from you guys? So if you guys are here right now, put in the chat box, put in the word commit. Commit, right? Or put in the word simply I. If you can commit to playing full out and be here with us. Because for what, just a moment, I want you to suspend disbelief and consider the possibility that there's an asset class that's boring in the best sense of the world. That's an asset class that works in every market condition. An asset class that is actually even in vogue right now. That's actually in fashion right now, when all around us the world is falling apart and the world is in a crisis, right? That's actually the asset class that people are flocking to, and you can position yourself on the front end of that asset class and be the winner of that economy that we are in right now, right? So this is what we want to do. So can I get that commitment from you guys? Put it in there, commit right now. The rest of it, we're gonna lay it out for the entire week, and not just the whatever it is, the standard kind of land of investing kind of thing. We're gonna share with you what works today, what we put our money in, the strategies that work, and we're gonna get that started. But first, I'm gonna give wonderful Courtney here a chance to introduce herself. Courtney has been with us, around us for many, many years now. She's one of our master coaches, and I love having her. And she's doing lots and lots of deals with her husband, Casey. So go ahead, Courtney, introduce yourself.
Hello.
While I have a sip of my coffee.
Not a problem. Hello, everybody. I love my land family, and I'm so happy to be here. My name is Courtney Kaylard, and I started in the restaurant industry, guys. I had zero real estate experience. My husband and I were bartenders and servers, and we wanted more, so we did start a medical supply business. So we did start our own business, and we were making decent money, making six figures, but I was tethered to that business. So I had money to travel, but guess who had to bring their laptop and work in the hotel room every day? So I was just so frustrated of constantly working 7 days a week, because I had to be on the phones 5-6 days a week. And then on Sunday is when I had to do all the behind the scenes work. So we found Jack and Michelle and their land profits, and we just followed the system. And our first deal that we did was $25,000.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, so for me, it was a no-brainer. That would take me 2.5-3 months to make, working 7 days a week. And we did this part-time. We carved out about 7 to 10 hours a week to learn the system. And I did that part-time. I made as much as I would make in almost 3 months. So for me, it was a no-brainer. I was like, I'm done with this business. We went all in land, literally sold that business, dove straight into just land, and now I get to travel, and I don't bring my laptop because I can do anything and everything from my phone if I need to just do a few check-ins. So it's been a life-changing experience. I'm so grateful for Michelle and Jack for this, because I love my life. My life is by my design, so it's pretty awesome.
That's exactly right. That's the thing. You guys now go, you have to take care of family quite a bit, and your family's up in Illinois, right?
Yep.
And you're in Arizona, obviously, like I'm too. So whenever you need to move out to the family, need to go, you just go, and you go for as long as you want to go, right?
Yep. Last year, I packed 2 large suitcases and a one-way ticket. I didn't have to ask a boss for the time off. I didn't have to take paid vacations. I didn't have to do any of that. I'll get back when I'm back. I helped my mom move into assisted living and kind of got all her affairs straightened up and everything. I was there for about, I think, 6 weeks. And then I came back to Arizona, and then 2 weeks later I was back. So I went back and forth. And so I was in Illinois, I think 2 out of 3 months. And again, I just had to bring my laptop. And during that time, I got our largest deal. We got a six-figure profit
There you
while
go.
I was not even working, but maybe 2 hours a week.
2 hours a week,
At that
making a
time.
six-figure deal, guys.
Yeah.
Again, it's not an earnings claim, but
No.
who would like to have that?
Right.
And that's exactly what we're going to talk about right now. Because let me see, let me get started. Let me get started with the following way. So let's just jump right off it. Again, as I mentioned, hard asset is the way to go. Cash is crap, right? The United States is running a $39 trillion deficit right now, and or debt right now, and and adding $3 trillion to that every single year. So in other words, cash is being eroded. If you like had a bunch of cash stuffed below your mattress, or you have a bunch of cash in the bank making you 0.025% interest or something like that, you're losing 10% a year. Your money is diminished by 10% a year. You gotta put that money to work, and you have to have that money produce double digits and ideally triple digit returns, right? Otherwise, you're losing out on that. Again, so what's happening? Smart money is moving to hard assets. As I said, gold, silver, crypto, land is desirable, things like that. So let's talk about what works right now, though. And what works right now is the following. So the kind of assets, the kind of land. So first of all, what are we doing here? Let me quickly go into the chat box here with you guys and ask you a question like, who here is brand new? Who here is brand new and has never heard about land flipping or land investing or land splitting or land entitlement or land banking or anything we do here in land here? Who is brand new? Because I want to make sure that if you're brand new but you're ready to get started in real estate, I want you to know that you're at the right place. You just need to make sure that you do this the right way, because again, there's a whole bunch of fly-by-night people out there teaching this and teaching land flipping and teaching how to do these bottom-feeding deals that simply don't work, or they work, but they work with, it's a lot of hard work for very little result. So what I want you to know is, guys, and by the way, also we have a workbook, a workbook. If you don't have the workbook, then make sure, guys, that you actually go and ask our team for a copy of the workbook. Actually, put it in the chat box. Put in the word workbook in the chat, and the team is going to put the link to the workbook so you have it ready for the entire week. There's a lot of information in here. That is 26 pages, I believe 27 pages of tons and tons of narrative and descriptions and things about what this is all about. So put in the word workbook, and a team, if you guys could share the workbook link. But essentially, in a nutshell, what we do here, but again, we're going to take a different angle to that than we ever have. So if this is a repetition for you, stick with us for the next 3 minutes. And in 3 minutes, we're going to dive into screen shares and share exactly with you exactly what we do and how we do this. But generally speaking, like overall, the approach that we're taking is that there is 96 million pieces of land in the United States. Out of those 96 million, about 60 million are in private ownership. So 60 million pieces of land in the United States are owned by private individuals. Many of them have held them for years, decades, generations. And in many cases, they simply are sick and tired of paying property taxes. They don't want it anymore. For many, many reasons, divorce, death, probate, just like age, just like they haven't appreciated much or so. They simply don't want to pay property taxes. They simply just don't want to pay these, or they don't use it anymore. They simply want to get rid of these pieces of land, and because they're not attached to it. Grandma didn't grow up on it. Their parents, it's not their childhood home. It's not none of these things. They simply have no emotional attachment to it. And as a result, what's happening is they just want to get rid of it. And in many cases, they give you a big enough discount on those pieces of land that allows you to turn around and flip that property with good marketing, which we'll share with you all on Wednesday and Thursday, how to sell these properties and sell them very quickly with various creative strategies, and make anywhere from 10, 20, or even 50, or even 100, or in some cases even 7-figure profits, right? So that's what the core strategies. There's land out there. The people are less emotionally attached to it. They usually own them free and clear. They've been in the family for decades. They don't want them anymore. They're willing to give you discounts for 40, 50, 60, 70% off the market value of these properties because they just want to get rid of them. Yep. And then you turn around, you mark them back up, and you sell them, or you use any of the other strategies that we want to share with you right now. And that is the first thing that I want to share with you right now. What works in 2026, yes. Courtney? What works in 2026? First of all, if you want to get you some really good deals done, do you focus on the little $10,000 properties?
No, no, we definitely want to go like 50,000 or above, sometimes 30,000 depending on the area. But right now in my inventory, we just got a bunch of new properties in, like an insane amount in a very short amount of time. So I'm not even sure all the properties I have in my inventory, but I know I have one for 70,000 in there, one that we're getting for about 148. I should sell that for over two. So there should be a $50,000 profit in that one. I have a 56-acre one, which I'm excited. I might subdivide that one. I don't know if it's, we got to look into it a little more, but I have a lot of opportunity right now. I probably have about at least 250,000 in my inventory of profit that I see. So
$250,000 in profit coming in what time frame?
This all came in within the last 3 weeks. It's been a crazy 3 weeks. So
Somebody of you guys saying like, Jack, the real estate market is slow. Well, the housing market is slow. Land ain't slow, guys.
No, and
land ain't slow, particularly if you're focusing on the higher price markets. So here's the thing: there's a whole bunch of guys out there. And guys, if you want to do $5,000 deals, I encourage you to go Google or go to chat, find some of these other people that teach this stuff. Go enroll with them. Go have them teach you how to buy properties for $1,000 and sell them for $3,000, and put all this effort in for a $2,000 profit. Right? If you want to do that, go ahead. If you want to know how to get six-figure deals and like a deal for $148,000, sell it for over $200,000, make a $50,000 profit, and get $250,000 worth of profits into your pipeline of accepted contracts in 3 weeks, like Courtney just done, then you are at the right place.
Right.
So who thinks you're in the right place? Give me an I. Put in the chat box. Give me an I if you know that you're in the right place. Right? Okay, so good. So I can see a bunch of eyes here, guys. We want to play full out. I guess you would commit to us. So there we go. Lots of eyes. Okay, good. So the first thing is, do those volume small deals work? Yeah. Can you go into some areas in the United States and send out 2,000 letters and get literally 200 responses for properties that you can pick up that are worth $3,000? Can you do that? And can you make some money with that? Absolutely. But it's a whole lot of effort for very little money.
You know, the lower end properties come with more headaches. I learned it the hard way, guys. So that's why I became a master coach, is to help people so you didn't make the mistakes I made. But all the ones that are just a few $1,000s come with so many headaches. And the ones where I'm making like 25, 50 grand, they're just easy peasy. Like it's just a different mindset, and it's quite interesting. So again, I mean, you can make money, and they're great owner financing deals and stuff like that, but the higher profit ones are just easier.
Yeah. And somebody says, like, some people like to start small. Yeah, absolutely, you can start small, but what if we could share with you a way that you could go right from the get-go with full confidence and get a deals that make you $30,000, $40,000, $50,000? Would you be willing to take that step?
Yes.
And instead of like artificially, because of internal mindset limitations, you don't feel comfortable doing a $50,000 deal, you rather do a $3,000 deal? So would you rather forego an extra $47,000 in profits because you don't feel ready for it? Or would you rather like to be in an environment that gets you ready to do the $50,000 deal right from the get-go? Who would rather be in the environment that actually makes you be ready for the 50 grand deal, right? Put in a heck yes if you like to be in that environment, right? So yeah, so this is number one. First of all, higher end properties. High end properties. You're not going to go in like a second and do some screen share. Secondly, we're using AI. Guys, AI is here.
Absolutely.
AI is not coming. AI is here. AI is starting to take a bunch of jobs away, and you can be worried about that or not, but the point is also AI is actually a absolute beautiful thing for our land business, because it allows you to do 80% of what you used to have to do, or what I used to have to do manually. Now I have AI do for you, and I'm going to share with you a demonstration on that in just a second, right? So another thing we like to do is now land splits in rural areas. You mentioned you have a 56-acre parcel.
Yes.
You could take a 56-acre parcel and simply wholesale it, mark it up by 50 grand and sell it. Or what if you could take that thing and split it into 5 11-acre parcels or something like that, 10 to 12 acre parcels, and then sell each of those because each of those for more money and make $150,000 on that deal, right? We're going to go through that on Thursday and show you how to do that. And then also we're going to talk, also one area that we're putting our money in right now is land developments. We are actively searching for deals that are in the outskirts of town, that are developmental land, that we can subdivide, that we can split, or that we can partner with somebody that has the experience in the subdividing, splitting, and then they subdivide it, and we all participate in the deal. And when you find those kind of deals, like one of our students just found a deal for that was an $8 million deal. He found the deal, he passed it on to us, we brought our development partner in, and it's now being sold. It's under contract to being sold to one of the nationwide largest builders for $12.3 million. In other words, there's a $4 million profit here, of which that student gets a significant percentage. How about you guys become that, and you guys, by just finding a deal, not even buying it, not even having to have a dollar to your, not even investing a dollar into the property, just finding the deal and passing it on, you're all of a sudden making $500,000. Would that be okay?
I'll take it.
Would that be good? Anyone looking to make $500,000 by finding a deal like that? Like that's what we, those are the things that we're focusing on. Higher end properties, land splits, land developments, and also, and particularly using AI to do these kind of deals. And again, what we're going to share with you is exactly how to do this. Even if you're brand new, never have done anything in real estate, because the beauty of land is that there's no tenants, toilets, and termites. There's less complications. You don't have to inspect anything. You don't have to get roof inspection done. You don't have to get foundations inspection done. You don't have to do plumbing inspection. You don't have to do electric inspection. You don't have to have the whatever it is, the condition of the kitchen inspected. You can simply do this from home. Courtney, how many of the properties that you have flipped have you actually seen?
Only because I like road trips. I think there's 3, and I've been doing this since 2016, full time since 2018. But again, somehow we acquired property near where I live, and I like road trips, and that was the only reason. And because I made a trip out of it, like we woke up early, we went for a hike, then we went and checked it out, took some pictures, went out for breakfast, and there you go. So, but I did not have to do that. It was by choice.
And when you looked at it, did you go dig in it and check out things? No, you just took some pictures.
Yeah, we took some pictures. My husband put a for sale sign up, and
that's about it.
Yeah, that was it. And again, we absolutely did not have to do that. It's just me liking road trips.
Because actually, so with that said, guys, let's start looking at some of these areas that we like. Okay, let's start looking at some of these areas and how to find those. So first thing is, let me pull up here. That's the first kind of lots that we like to focus on. There's 4 kind of properties that we like to focus on. The first kind of property is what we call infill lots, and let me see, infill lots. And infill lots, think about a street, the properties, street with a bunch of houses, and in those areas there is now properties ready for you to build on. And if you look at this, so we are now here, I just pulled up randomly Nashville, Tennessee, right? It's a fast growing market. And you see there's properties here for $275,000 that sold. That's a buildable lot, right? There's properties for $315,000. There's a buildable lot, another $350,000. So there's 2 kinds of properties in the infill lots that we're actually interested in. Like one of them is, let's look at this one for $140,000. You look at that. Actually, you look at that, this property, it's like this buildable lot here, 2,900 square feet with houses on either side. What I want to actually show you here is how long has that thing been on the market? Because it obviously sold to the MLS or in Zillow. And it looks like it was on the market for about 4 months. It was listed for $159,000 in August and then October. So 2 months later, it went on as contingent. And then it sold 3 months later. It sold in 90 days, September, October, November. It sold in 90 days for $140,000. So here's the thing. All we need to do is find similar land to that in that vicinity. If you can, you don't even have to have them get them at half price. Because if you get a piece of land like that for $120 and you mark it up for $140 or $149, in 90 days, you can have that thing sold and make a $20,000 profit,
Yep.
right? So this is the first one. The second kind of property in that infill lot area is actually development land. Like on Thursday, we're going to talk to one of our students who just taken a piece of land and did a subdivided it into 7 lots, because if you find a little bit bigger land, let's say half an acre, you can actually sell that to a developer, and the developer is going to take that and split it into 4 lots. And now each of these lots, and perhaps the half an acre is worth, you can get on a contract for $200,000. Again, you don't have to have $200,000. You don't have to have $200,000. The way that works is that what you do, it's what we call wholesaling land. So for those who are my newbies here, who are the people who are brand new in real estate? Right, brand new to real estate, give me a heck yes, or give me an I if you're brand new. The core way, whether you do this, and by the way, you can do this with $3,000 lots if that's your desire, but that's not what we recommend.
Right.
Or you can do this with $300,000 lots, or even with $8 million lots. What we do is, if it's you have an acre property, you put it under contract for $250,000, and you don't have $250,000. It's okay. You still put it under contract for like 90 days, 120 days, 180 days. And then what you do is you market it. You find a local builder that wants to take it and split it into 4 lots, because then each lot is worth $140,000. So now that $240,000 lot is worth $560,000. You guys see this? Just by taking a bigger lot and splitting it into smaller pieces, the value has more than doubled. Right? Has more than doubled. So as a result, if you, in this case, you have an acre for $250,000, you put it under contract, no earnest money deposit, simply get it under contract, you market it, you have a builder that says, oh, I'll pay you $300,000 for it, which is obviously a bargain for that, because he knows that he can split it and make it be worth $560,000. So what's happening is that the builder, the buyer, puts in $300,000 into the title company. The title company now uses the $300,000, sends $250,000 to the buyer, to the seller, sends $250,000 to the seller, keeps about $3,000 for their effort, and sends $47,000 to you. So you just made $47,000 in cash profits without even having bought the property. Anyone okay with that? It's called the double closing, where you using the buyer's money to fund the entire transaction. And so you get stuck with it, says somebody. No, you don't get stuck with it, because you don't buy it.
Right.
You only have it under contract.
Right.
If it doesn't sell, you cancel the contract and everything goes poof, and you have no obligations. Right. If it takes longer to sell, you extend it with the seller, the contract, and then you continue to market it. But when you have the buyer lined up, the buyer's money funds everything. There's zero risk for you involved, because you cannot get stuck with the property.
Right.
Does that make sense? Right?
Yeah.
So which title company charges 1% for double closes? Well, it's not 1%. What they're charging is a fee. Title companies charge a fee. That's a minimum fee. And the higher the property value goes, the more they charge. So at the $250,000 level, the title insurance cost should be around $3,000. It's usually not much more than that. If you're dealing in the millions, it can be more expensive. But if it's below that, sometimes title insurance cost is under $1,000.
Right.
So Courtney, how many of the deals have you done as double closing like this?
Like 95%, like basically all of them. We use transactional funding for, I think 2 deals, but yeah, they're all done that way. Everything is usually the buyer's just his end money pays for everything. And then they pay the seller off, they pay us off, and everybody walks away happy. So it's a win-win situation, right? With no risk for you guys, because your money's not tied up in it. So you can't beat it.
Yeah, exactly right. So you guys saw that right now. In this particular case, like this property is like random Nashville. You focus on either like infill lots, like this here. This is an infill lot. This is an infill lot. They're worth 100, 140, 142, 160, 187, 190,000 dollars, or perhaps some more larger development kind of land, which might be something more like this. This is probably a land that can be split into 2 or 3 lots. And as a result, and all you need to do is get it a little bit below market value,
Right.
because in these markets where there's a lot of movement, Nashville, Tennessee is expanding a lot.
Yes.
You can sell them in 60, 90 days, or perhaps sometimes in 30 days if it's a bargain. If you get it for if you get a $200,000 lot for 130, you just mark it up to 160,
Yeah.
which is a bargain on the market. It sells in 30 days, and you just made $30,000, right? And you do it the way you do that is, again, you can do that for these infill lots or for these lots that have, then on top of it, have development potential where somebody can split them. You do it such that the buyer's money pays everything included. Are we all clear on that? Newbies, everyone that's new here, you guys understand this, right? So good. How do you open escrow without any earnest money consideration? You don't need earnest money consideration to open escrow. You need a contract that says, here's the buyer, here's the seller, here's the seller, here's the buyer, here's the property, here's the purchase price, here's the closing date. That's all you need,
Yep.
right? And that's it. You send that to the title company, they open escrow, they go to the motions. You guys are overcomplicating this. You're living you're probably coming from the house world already. I can already tell you guys come from the house world, right? So who is excited about this strategy of doing deals without using any of your own money? Right? Right? Right, very much so. There we go. Great, very good.
Perfect.
So good. So let's talk about some other ways. So what are the other kind of properties we like to focus on? Well, let's look at it. I have a second instance of Zillow here open, where we're going to go into a little bit different area, and we're going to go into like the northern LA County area. And on purpose, I picked LA County because, guys, we have been teaching this for 17 years. Michelle and I, my wife, co-founder of the company, we have done thousands of land deals, all from the $3,000 cheapo deals to the $1 million lots, from subdivision lots, from splitting lots, from land development, you name it, right? And we have been teaching this since 2008. So now we're teaching this for 18 years already. And what we have, and we're the OGs of land teaching. We're the best of the best of the best in teaching this, and having helped hundreds of people to become millionaires, thousands of people to create 6-figure businesses. And you're going to be the next ones, right? Who is ready to be the next one? Who wants to be one of my next millionaires, guys? Who wants to be one of our next millionaires? Put me in the chat box. So one of the things that is the number one thing I always hear is like, but Jack, I live in LA and there's no land in LA. Right? You heard that too, right?
Yeah.
I live in Manhattan. There's no land in Manhattan. And you're right. In Manhattan,
Yeah.
there's no land. But one of the most beautiful things about this business is that you can do this remotely anywhere there's land. Again, we just talked about Courtney has, just because she likes road trips, she has
Yeah.
seen 3 of her properties.
Yeah.
But what's the furthest, you live in Arizona, what's the furthest away that you have done deals?
Coast to coast.
Coast to
From
coast.
Oregon, Washington, down to Florida. Yeah, coast to coast, and a handful in between. And we purposely picked a state on the East Coast because we didn't want to be tempted to go see it.
Yeah.
So we originally started this like not in my home state because, again, I'm tempted to go see it because I like road trips. But-
Right. So on purpose, yeah. So you live wherever you live. So I picked LA County because people say like, well, Jack, LA is expensive. Well, you know what? There's LA and there's LA County. LA County is huge. LA County is this entire thing here. Includes Palmdale, Lancaster, includes all these different areas. And you look at that. There is up here land, $90,000 right in our sweet spot. Land, $225,000 right in our sweet spot. $100,000 right in our sweet spot. Plus, on top of it, this $100,000 is 10 acres. So somebody could take that and split that into 4 2.5-acre parcels and probably make each of those 2.5 acres be worth $40,000. And now all of a sudden you're selling properties for you're making $160,000 out of it, right? We have land here, $137,000. I don't even see that. I'm just randomly clicking around here. $77,000, $125,000. You see that? There's land all over the place. As a matter of fact, let me quickly show this, or even like the one county over, like where we're here in Ventura County. Let me just click over there. You see the same thing. Look at there, 165,000, 365. That's the sweet spot that's working right now. Because let me tell you, there's a few trends in the real estate space. As a matter of fact, let's watch a quick video. Let's watch a quick video that shows you what are the reasons why people actually love land. Are you ready to watch this video? Let's go. Demand for land is absolutely exploding. And if you're not paying attention, you're missing the biggest opportunity of the decade. Here's what's happening. First, hard assets are king. Agricultural land values jumped 4.3% in 2025, the fifth straight year of growth. Land, it's the ultimate hard asset that holds its value. Second, preppers aren't just doomsday folks anymore. 20 million Americans now identify as preppers. That number doubled since 2017. It's everyday people wanting a backup plan, a safe haven, a place away from the chaos, and they're buying land like crazy. Third, remote workers are done with the city grind. In 2026, 52% of the workforce is working remotely or hybrid. They want space, freedom, a place they can actually afford, and they're buying land to build their dream life. Fourth, investors are hunting for inflation protection. Commodities, real assets, things that hold value, land beats inflation better than almost anything else. Fifth, investors want simple, low-risk investments. No tenants, no toilets, no termites. Land is simple, tangible, and way less risky than houses. Six, passive income opportunities are massive. Seller financing, rent-to-own land deals. Investors are making bank, collecting monthly payments without the headaches. Seventh, developers are laser-focused on high-density projects, apartments, townhouses. They need land in the path of growth. Utah land values jumped 8.6% in 1 year, driven by development demand, and they're paying top dollar for it. Eighth, entitled and subdivided land is on fire. Developers want land that's ready to build, and they'll pay premium prices. West Texas land values surged 12.89%, the highest in the region. Investors willing to do the legwork are crushing it. Ninth, recreational buyers want larger acreage, RVS, quad bikes, hunting, fishing, nature. They want to escape the city, and they're buying now. 10th, technology changed everything. Starlink hit 8 million users worldwide. 85% are in rural areas. Solar power. You can live anywhere and work from anywhere. Off-grid isn't a sacrifice anymore. It's a lifestyle. And finally, retirees want dignity and affordability. They're buying land on the outskirts where they can put a mobile home or tiny house, live their retirement on their terms. So yeah, demand for land is through the roof. And the people who understand this right now, they're cashing in while everyone else is still figuring it out. You want in on this? We'll show you exactly how to capitalize on every single one of these buyers. There we go. Guys, you guys enjoyed that? Like, this is the thing. These are the trends. These are the reasons why land is on fire. And again, and as I showed you right now, right here in this piece here, is if we go outside of these just outside of these larger areas. Let me see, where is that? The chat is over here. Right outside of these LA areas. And there is lots and lots of land that is sold, and some of that is development land, right? Some of that is infill lots, some of that is luxury land, some of that is, you name it, right? There's all kinds of different pieces of land that's sold here, like 2.6 million. Obviously, that's like 17 acre. That's a prime development kind of property. This is here. What is this? This is again. This is larger land outside of LA County, and so on. So then, or let's go one over. Let's go into the other one, like larger acreage. There's like people like hunting land, people like the farms, like people like homesteading. There's like the preppers, and the preppers used to be the crazy people. Like, I'm sorry, excuse me, like right.
Right, but now
like I used to be like 10, 15 years ago, I used to be some prepper conventions, and there's all like these long bearded guys who's like in camo and things, and selling ammunition and guns and thinking the world's going to come to an end. Right. But today, like, they're 10% of the population. Right. And it's no longer preppers. It's people that are worried about Iran and worried about Venezuela and worried about China and worried about World War III and worried about things like that. And it is not an illogical thing to do to buy yourself a 20-acre parcel or 40-acre parcel an hour or 2 hours away from town to have a safe place to go. Guys, who agrees with me on that?
Right.
Do we have any of you guys are in that camp?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right.
you're becoming part of that, right?
Right.
You're
Yeah.
like-
I definitely want a large acre away from the city that I can just homestead and live off of, and that's awesome.
As a matter of fact, let me
goals.
ask you guys a quick question. Who would love to have a 5-acre parcel outside of town, or a 40-acre parcel, perhaps a couple of other hours outside of town, just for fun, to either have your own homestead, have your own oasis there, be close to town, but not have to live next door to, like, just in a master plan subdivision where they write you a nasty letter if you leave your garbage can out 2 hours too long? Like, who would love one of these things? Who would love to have a place like half an hour outside of town, like 2-3 acres to just have space, or a larger 40 acres? Put it in the chat box. Put in a me, or putting mini ranch in there and say like, love it, look at that. Yes, absolutely, me. Usually it's about half of the people that are there attending these sessions that would love that kind of stuff. I have 51 acres and a cabin out in the country. There we go, says somebody. That's exactly right. So that's the kind of property that really works. So it's high priced in the city, high priced like development land, and also like beautiful, like great properties around town. Or it's like larger acreage, more thing. Look at that, 85 acres, $410,000. Look at that, and it's sold, right? And it's sold probably quickly. We're now, where are we? We're like outside of Atlanta, Georgia. Like, you live in Atlanta, Georgia. How about having your own hunting ranch outside of there somewhere? Like, and there's some pretty expensive pieces here, but you look at that. There's also $75,000 for 2.7 acres, like right outside of Athens. Like, how about you owning this piece of land and building your dream home on there, and then only commuting into town like something like once or twice a week when you need to? Who would love to live on a place like that in idyllic nature with trees on there? And then, like, can you see that some people, even if this is not you as a market, that you could live there? Now, the beauty of this is you can simply select that using AI, and let's start talking about AI. Like, we have systems. What we're going to show you over the next 5 days is a smorgasbord of fully integrated AI solutions that will blow your mind, that will literally put everything I just shared with you, or that we just shared with you, right at your fingertips. Right? Who would love to? Let's go into the very first part of that. So let's talk about selecting land. All right. So we have this system called the Investment Dominator. That if we go into the Investment Dominator, there's a couple of things we can do. Well, first of all, let me see, my computer's like we're on the internet here, but let me just make sure. So the simple thing you can do is this is a system that's an end-to-end deal management system where it starts out where we have AI-driven wizards and AI-driven tools. So we're connected to data from all around the United States. Because one of the questions you guys probably have right now is, well, Jack, that sounds good. How do I select those areas? Well, the first thing you select the areas, you go, if you want to be in the city, look for growing cities. Because again, you don't need 50% discounts on infill lots. You need 25% discounts. You need to get those $150,000 properties for $110,000 and then mark them up to $130,000 and you have a quick $20,000 profit. You need those $100,000 properties for $75,000 and mark them up to $90,000 and you have a $15,000 profit.
Yep.
That's quick, right? And do you think that somebody, I mean, who agrees with me that a bunch of people are gonna, at least, like, if they have a $100,000 property, they'll accept the $75,000 offer. If they're not emotionally attached to it, they're sick and tired of paying property taxes. It's been in the family for a long time. They don't care about it anymore. Right. Perhaps the owners have passed away, and the heirs are sitting on the other side of the country, and you're offering them $75,000 cash. And they're looking around and seeing like, well, even if they do research, they're seeing other properties sold for 100. They're like, well, 75 grand is close to that. Yeah. I'll take it. Done. Right? I'm done. And then, are you guys hearing me well? Just making sure. We did have some audio problems early on. Is this okay? You guys hear me? Give me a heck yes if you can hear us. All right. We have some fireworks going on too. All right. You can.
Awesome.
All right. So Courtney, in those kind of deals, those infill lots, you don't need huge discounts.
No. No, because you're going where the land is already selling. So there's already demand for that. So, I buy it below market value and I sell it a smidgen under market value. So it sells fast. And
Exactly
that's all
right.
you got to do.
Development land, you can even pay market value because
Yeah.
if it's worth $250,000 today and it can be turned into 4 lots, and the 4 lots together are worth 560, there's no reason to not pay market value, offer market value as the raw land as it is, because the value add is going to be in splitting it. So either you can split it, like for example, one of our Hall of Fame students from Germany, actually, she's doing this from Germany. Last year, got a deal that she could have bought for $65,000, and she could have probably sold it quickly for $85,000. But what she realized is that if she splits it into 4 lots, each lot will sell for $65,000. So now she's 4xing her money. So and so she did what she did. She actually, we'll show you how we can actually provide you with funding for your deals. Like we can give you a funding guarantee. So we provided her with funding for the deals. We helped her fund the $65,000. So she didn't use any of her own money. She bought the property. She split it into 4 lots, which we can show you exactly how to do that too. Even if you're a newbie and you've never done any real estate deals, it's very simple. And then she had those 4 lots, and she sold each of those for $65,000. So that's 65, 130, $260,000. So instead of taking 1 lot and putting on a contract for 65 and selling it for 85, she actually bought it, split it, and then sold them for $260,000, which means she made a $195,000 profit. Anyone okay with that, guys? Who's okay with that? Who's okay with making $195,000 instead of $20,000? Again, that's what you want to do. That's the stuff that works today. Like you want to do $3,000 deals, go ahead. Go out there. There's plenty of people teach that kind of stuff. If you want to know how to, without any real estate knowledge before, she is a software engineer with 2 young babies working in southern Germany, and she was able to do this deal in the United States in a foreign country to her without ever having done real estate before and make $195,000. So if you're brand new here, what you need is you need a little bit money to invest and build the systems and things like that. But one deal like that is a game changer. Who agrees with me on that, right? So again, if you're a newbie and you've never done anything in real estate, you're at the right place. If you're an experienced real estate investor, you just need to unlearn a bunch of stuff, because I can tell by your questions that you're overcomplicating things already, and you need to simplify things a little bit, right? All right. So with that said, again, what I wanted to share with you is how do you find those pieces of land now? So again, you look, if it's infill lots, you look into growing cities. If you want to be those 2 acres, 5 acres outside that you're a retiree, want to build a house, or a virtual worker or a hybrid worker wants to build a house, then you want to look in the outskirts of bigger cities. And that's also where you find a lot of the development land.
Yes. I like that area. That's kind of my sweet spot right now.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's where you find lots, and there's lakes close by, things like that. I understand a lot of your lots right now are lakefront lots?
Yeah, I got a lot of property. It's lakefront, riverfront, or really close to it, where they're in a community where there's boat ramps, boat slips, so those.
But still close to bigger cities, right?
Right. Just within about 30 to 45 minutes from a large city. So
now imagine, again, can you see, guys, that there's demand for these lots? Like, who sees that? I mean, think about this. You're working from home. You're an attorney. You're whatever, manager. You're working as a software developer or something like that. You're working whatever job you're working that you can work from home, as a nurse. Like as a nurse, a lot of nurses these days are like nurse practitioners. They do online consultations and things like that. And you have the chance to buy yourself a riverfront lot in a community with boat slips and a clubhouse and things like that, half an hour away from your hospital, half an hour away from your legal firm, half an hour away from your office, half an hour away from wherever you work, and you only have to go to work once or twice a week. The rest of the time you work from home. Would that be attractive? Right? Guys, when they say like real estate is slow right now, they're talking about houses. houses are slow right now because interest rates are at 7% again, or whatever they are, 6 or 7%, whatever interest rates are. In the land space, we're dealing with free and clear pieces of land. And what I haven't shared with you guys is how we sell them. Again, it's for the newbies. If you've been around us, you already know all these kind of things. But for the new people that have never been around us, we love selling these properties by simply marketing it up and selling it as a wholesale and buy and market. That's why we like to go for the $50,000 plus properties, because the people with money have money. Sounds ridiculous, I know. But the people with money,
It's true.
it's true. The people with no money have no money. Right now, we're in a K-shaped society. You know what that means? Basically, the people with money are doing better and better, and the people without money are doing worse and worse. So we are, what a lot of our competition in the coaching space is doing, they're catering to the bottom end of the K space. And that's getting harder and harder and harder to succeed there, because the people without money have no money. But the people with money, they have money. And the people with money, they are going to hard assets.
Absolutely.
They're going to gold, silver, and land, and they're buying themselves that piece of land on the outskirts of a growing city as a financial investment, as an investment for themselves to build that beautiful home close by, as a retirement place, right? And so by going after the higher end properties, you're going after the people that your buyers have money. And they're writing you a check. They're doing a wire transfer in a title company, right?
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, I'm living proof this is exactly what's happening in my business right now. And it's also, I just got a ton of properties in because the world is kind of chaotic right now. So everybody's trying to get money. So I have like a ton of properties that came in within, the past 9 days, and it's been crazy. So
exactly right, because the people that are unfortunately on the lower side of that K-shaped economy, they're like, we need money. We got this piece of land that we got from grandpa. Okay, let's go sell it. Let's get whatever we get for it. So it's a perfect time to get these deals cheap and actually sell them at a really good profit.
Yeah.
Who sees that, guys? Are you guys intellectually understanding this? It's a left brain. So we're really in a beautiful, perfect storm, while the world is like, whatever is the world is chaotic and thing, and Iran and not Iran and whatever you name it. Like there's this marketplace with a hard asset that is more and more people moving towards and wanting to get deals in, and that is land. So we're super excited. You're at the right time, at the right place. And with AI coming and taking jobs and things like that, more and more people are looking to simplify, and more people are looking to put their money into something that will have lasting value. And particularly if you're close to the cities and the outskirts of city, if you have a big ranch of 40 acres, 80 acres in a beautiful area, within like a couple of hour driving, there's no way those properties are going to lose value. They're saying as inflation, as the government runs up bigger and bigger deficits, and the printing machines get turned on, and the government prints more and more money, and the dollar gets devalued. Guess what doesn't get devalued? Land. Land value is going to continue up like gold and silver, and as a result, it's an inflation hedge out there. All right. So hopefully you guys can hear me well. A lot of people say you can hear me. Some people say it's a little low. I put the microphone very close. Make sure you put yours very close, or actually don't even touch it because we had a little issue with the thing here. Just get closer to it. All right. So good. I hear you guys fine. Okay. Says a lot of people. So so let's look into that. So now that we know what we're looking for infill lots. We're looking for both development and just simply infill lots for people to buy. We're looking for the path of growth where we can find development land, like 2 acres, 5 acres, 10 acres that we can subdivide, split, and sell to or just simply partner with us when we subdivide and split them and entitle them and make them worth millions of dollars more, and you get a piece of that. Or we're looking at those 2 to 5 acre lots outside of town that with the trees, the riverfront lots, the things that you focus on. And so that's a third. Or we're looking for those large ranches. They're like $100,000 plus ranches that are just absolutely amazing, and where there's a huge boom over there. And there's one fifth area, and that is specialty lots. The video showed it. RV lots, lakefront lots, mobile home lots. Those kind of things are very much high in demand. So now that we do that, how do we find them? Well, let's go. Let's look into our investment dominator. So we go in here and we're going to say, you know what? Let's go select some areas. And let's go into California. So okay, we want to go into California, And in California, what we're going to do is I'm going to pick Ventura County over here. So in Ventura County, what's it tells me? What's coming up here is it tells me that in Ventura County, there's 3,438 parcels, pieces of land, and the value is between $10,000 and $1 million. Well, I don't want to look for $10,000 lot. I want to look at for $50,000, $50,000 or more. Well, if I look for $50,000 or more, it tells me there's 3,268 pieces of land that are worth $50,000 and more, but below $1 million. That's kind of our sweet spot, right? So isn't that beautiful? Now, if I want to go specifically into one of these areas, I want to say like, you know what? I only want to focus on these down here. Then I can go with this draw freehand thing and just simply go and say, I only want the properties that are right in this area. And then what's going to happen? It's going to select them for me. I think I need to refresh this here. And it's going to say, in this area alone, there's 1,976 properties that are worth between $50,000 and $1 million. So what I can say now is, great, I want to download them here. I want to download them. And I select, how many do you want to download? I select, give me 1,000 of them. And then if I now press enter here, I can select there if I want to tag them, I can create a tag for them. If I want to add them to a certain deal flow, I can say yes, I want them to. I can create those things. I'm gonna not do that right now. I'm just gonna save that right now. But you get the point. By just simply following a wizard, an AI-driven wizard, we can. That was just a few mouse clicks. Anyone can understand what I just did, right? Just a few mouse clicks. I can pull from almost all records in the entire United States. I can fine tune, I can go down and select just the records that I want to go after in a specific geographic location. I could also go easy, exactly. I could also go even a little bit further here, and I could go towards, for example, I could say, I want to select a few extra things here. I can go back and I can say, back a couple of times, and I can say, I want to have some extra filters. I want to select only those filters. I can pick a certain zip code for properties. I can say I only want the ones in certain zip code. I can say I only want the ones that owe property taxes. I can select only the ones that haven't paid the property taxes since 2024, right? And guess what? As I do this, let's see. There's probably not that many that didn't pay property taxes. I can say there's 200 of them have not paid property taxes in 2 years already, because we're already in 2026. So I can select those 200. Now, Courtney, why would I want to pick the people that haven't paid property taxes?
Well, that property is probably a burden to them. They're probably a highly motivated seller, because if they're not paying their property taxes, it kind of shows you that they've already checked out and don't really care about that property. So when you have only 200, you're probably going to pick one or two.
Go a little closer here.
Yeah, sorry guys. You can probably, again, they're highly motivated sellers. So they're already over that property if they're not paying their taxes. So if they're, instead of giving money to the government for their taxes, you're going to give them money. So yeah, they're probably going to want that. Since they can't pay it, they probably want some money instead.
And thank you for all the notices about the microphone. Didn't work for a second. I could tell it's working now again.
Okay, good.
Because we have like a mixer over there. We got our podcast studio set up, but unfortunately we got a little contact that goes off and on. So, but I got it under control now. Thank you for the kind comments. My apologies for that right now. But yeah, so exactly. If somebody doesn't pay property taxes, it means one of two things. They either have died, in which case, okay, it's sad if they've passed away, but usually you're then dealing with the heirs, and the heirs have, what do heirs want? Do heirs want a piece of land that they have to pay property taxes every year? Or do heirs, put in the chat box, what do heirs want? Heirs want money. Exactly. You guys put it in there. So some of my favorite deals to pick up is from properties where you're dealing with the heirs. Now I'm sad that the person passed away, but you're dealing with non-wanting sellers that just want to cash out. Absolutely. Right? Just want to cash out. So that's one way. So the second thing is, if they don't pay property taxes, Exactly right. They're sick and tired of the property. They don't want to put more money into it. They have
Right.
no use for the property. They haven't done anything for the property for a decade. They don't care anymore. So again, if you go in, you can select. All of that is already there for you with an AI-driven solution that's right there at your fingertips.
Yeah, and what you just showed everybody, you guys, that took less than 5 minutes. And this is the same exact system I use as well. That used to take me over a week just to get,
Yeah.
pick a county, get the list. Then I had to get it filtered, and then that would take days. Then you get it imported. Like what he just showed you, I'm doing in 5 to 10 minutes. Would take me over a
Yeah,
week.
you we used to have to find a guy that's
Yep.
computer knowledge that takes something we receive from the county records, and they would process it 2 3 days. They send it
Yeah.
back. Then you have to kind of do a mail merge and things like that.
Yeah.
All of these things that, in spite of that, Courtney did a ton of deals every year.
Mhm.
In spite of that, right? In our very first year, 2003, we've done 63 deals while having a full-time job. Can you imagine what you can do today with just tools like that ahead of you? And some people asking, how do you find the buyers? How do you find the sellers? Guys, this is a week-long summit. Today, we're talking about the fundamentals of that. What do we do different? And I hope we gotten some value today by us sharing with that we don't do what everyone does. We're going after the higher end infill lots. We're going after the higher end path of growth lots. We're going after the development lots. We're going after these large acreages because we're in a K-shaped society, and we're going after the properties that the wealth that the people with money want, because the people with money are used to making decisions, so they buy faster and they write you a check and they pay in full. Right? That's the thing. So I showed you then examples of those kind of areas, which you can do at home. You can replicate those. You can start looking for, like, what are some growing areas in the United States? What are some of these properties? Go look around, do some of this work, like go play full out, guys, right? Go do that at home. And then tomorrow, we're going to talk about exactly how do we contact these sellers. Today was all about selecting the areas, and then how do we get these contact records in the first place, so which I just showed you. We log into our system, we just simply download them. We can do it geographically by mapping, we can do it by selection criteria, by value, by thing, even by tax delinquencies, all these kind of different things, and so on. But then also make sure you look at the workbook, because here's our overall process, which is we identified a great area. That's what we do today. That's what we talked about all today. What are we focusing on, and what areas we focusing? Then tomorrow, what kind of properties? So 1 and 2 was today. What kind of properties do we focus on? Do we focus on these base hits, these $30,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 deals, these quick flips? Or do we focus on these home runs, where we go do a development deal, we end up making $250,000 a deal, we end up making $100,000 plus on a deal, we end up making multi-million dollars on an entitlement deal, particularly if you work with us. Then we talk about getting the list and contacting the sellers. Well, we even did part of 3 already today. So we're already like halfway through the process. And then tomorrow, we're going to show you how to contact these owners, how to talk to these owners, how to do due diligence with these owners, how to make offers on these owners, right, on these properties, and how to go about that. And again, all of it AI driven.
Yep.
So today was all about setting the foundation, but in a way that you understand what works today. Right? So with those said, for those of you or I'm particularly interested, like, let's do this in 2 ways. For those of you who have been around us for a while, what do you think about today? Did you guys understand that you need to tweak what you have been doing? There's a lot of you out there that have been doing this the old way, the way that you worked 3-4 years ago. Like, are you understanding that you need to tweak your ways? Are you understanding that there is a even 10x bigger potential today to make money than there ever has been in the land space? Right? Give me a heck yes, a thumbs up, or whichever way you want. Absolute. Okay, I'm learning. Great. Now, let's turn this to the other side. My newbies, the ones that are brand new to real estate, brand new to land. Do you guys understand that there is a humongous potential here of doing these deals? And what I'm going to share with you, again, without using none of your own money, without having to actually buy these properties, never getting stuck with a property. Because it's land, you don't have to actually personally inspect it. You can do this. If you live in LA, you can do this in Alaska. If you live in LA, you can do this in Florida. If you live in Florida, you do this in Tennessee. If you live in Florida, you do this in Oregon. If you live in Arizona, you do this wherever you want. You can do this anywhere in the world. If you're brand new Do you guys understand that the power of this? Put in a heck yes if you're new to real estate or new to land, and you agree with me that there's a huge potential here, well, right? So this is what we're talking about. And again, the process is simple.
Yes.
The process is we show you these areas to go after. We show you how to download them. Tomorrow we're going to talk about how to contact these owners, how to follow up with these owners, how to get in front of these owners, how to make proper offers on these owners, how to get these offers properly accepted from these owners, and then and then on Wednesday, we talk about how to do due diligence on these properties and how to sell these properties. And on Wednesday, you're going to join us again?
Yes.
You're going to be virtually on Wednesday, right?
Yes.
We're going to be on two computer screens. Don't want to have to make you drive another hour in rush hour and early in the
That's all right.
morning.
I'm here for the dog.
You're here for the dog? Okay, she wants
love
to,
their dog.
She wants to say hello to a Daisy. Yeah, she's out there somewhere right now. So, guys, so you guys, are these rural recreational lots? They can be, KD. They absolutely can be. They can be any kind of land that you want to. The point is they have to have value. Like the times right now is not the time to go after these cheaper land deals. Right now is the time to go after areas where sales are happening. Like, and I can do a quick demonstrations on that part too. One more time, because like if you look at Zillow, I mean, we already kind of did it, but if you can look at let's look at this area of Georgia, or let's book it here, Maricopa County, Arizona.
Go.
Just let's see, so you guys can see that this, I can pick random parts of the country, and you look at that, you see how many properties have sold here. 6,000 properties have sold in Maricopa County in just the last 6 to 12 months. And you can see that you can go after the infill lots right here in the middle. You can go after the path of growth lots up here or up here, or up here. And if you go into this path of growth lots, like in Buckeye, what you see is like they're a little bit on the lower end, but now there we go, 180 acres. No, $180,000 is the sale price for 5 acres. $180,000 for 4 acres. So by the way, how do you value these properties? Well, if you have a property coming up, if you send out direct mail to an area like this, and somebody contacts you in this area with a property that's worth, with a 5-acre parcel, you look at it and you see that one sold for 180,000, that one sold for 180,000, and that one sold for 190,000 for 10 acres. So 5 acres is probably going to be worth in that $170,000, $180,000 range, and you're done. So valuation, we'll talk about that Tuesday and Wednesday some more, but valuation is very, very simply. And by knowing that these sold, and also that these sold probably fairly quickly, you now know that this is an attractive area to go after. Yeah. You can go and you can see, look at that, all these sales are happening. 4.68 acres, 140,000. Like that, 9.5 acres, 205,000. 1 acre, 37,000. I mean, that's on the low end side of things, but 5 acres, 170,000. So all these 5-acre parcels are like 170, 180. So valuation wise, there's what I just showed you does 2 things. Number one, it shows you, whoa, there's a bunch of properties that are selling in that market. That looks like a good market to go into because I can sell them quickly. And number 2, once I get people contact me about their properties, if I need to figure out what their value is,
right there.
It's right there. It's right there. Exactly right. And I can also quickly see how many properties are actually listed in this area, because we do want to see, like, we ideally want to have an area where there is, let's see, like in this micro area, there's 84 properties listed and 64 properties sold. That's almost a 1-to-1 ratio.
Right.
That's beautiful.
That's perfect.
Like,
That's
in other words, almost every property that gets listed also gets sold. Right. And isn't that what we want? Mm-hmm. Isn't that what we want?
Absolutely.
Right? So yes, we're going after off-market property. Yeah. We do not typically go after properties that are already on the market. Right. You can, by the way, it's a niche strategy we might share with you on Wednesday or Thursday or something like that. There's a niche strategy. You can go after listed properties, but if you do, you want to go after those that have been sitting on the market forever without offers because they're simply bad listings. Because one thing that we're going to share with you over the course of the week is that realtors, 90% of all realtors don't have a clue how to create a good land listing.
Right. We are experts.
And we are experts. And you, by the end of this week, you are going to be an expert. Look at that. There's this, the typical land listing looks something like this.
Yeah.
Like
That's
like
not how
this.
we
This
do
is
it.
like my favorite kind of land listing. Like this picture means absolutely nothing.
Right.
Wow, I want to buy this piece of land right now, right? This makes me really excited. Not. Right? You guys see
Right.
that? Like I'm not excited about this listing. But this is part of the opportunity. Realtors don't have a clue how to list these properties, and they usually create a really crappy listing.
Yeah.
And sometimes because of that, the property sat there and never sold. And then 2 years pass, and now you, using our strategy, contact those owners, and those owners are like, well, I tried to sell this property, no, it didn't sell. Yeah, I'll accept your offer for half price because otherwise I'll be stuck with that land forever. I don't want it anymore. And so the realtors, the bad realtors, actually doing us a favor.
Yes, I actually have come into that quite recently where they had it on the market, realtor never sold it, worked with us, we did it at half price, and I think we sold it in 2 weeks because we approached a neighbor. And we also have a handful of that just came in where we're like, okay, well, when that realtor doesn't sell it for you, just keep our number and give us a call and then we'll buy it. And that just happened for a couple of the properties I got as well.
Yeah. So in other words, what we're sharing you over the course of the week is how to find the best properties. Again, the ones with value, the ones in demand, the ones with development potential, the ones with super high profit potential, how to get them at the right prices. And then we'll also share with you exactly how to sell these properties. And we're going to do that on Wednesday. So make sure you're there on Wednesday.
Yes.
All right.
Favorite part of the business.
Yeah. So with that said, I mean, that's what we're covering today. Make sure you go to the workbook if you don't have the workbook in there, and then there's a bunch of criteria that we have to select these properties. All of this. One thing that I do want to share with you right now is just also I want to make sure that you guys understand one thing, and that is a quick mindset exercise. Because at the end of the day, guys. Again, we have all these trends here with all these things. We can deal with this all in the left brain kind of way. But I really want you to understand also the right brain kind of side of things here, which is, which what I mean by that is the exercise of your age. Like, think about it. If you have a piece of paper with you and you draw 10 lines upwards and 10 lines downwards, and like sideways and upwards, basically create 100 squares. And you see it in the workbook.
Yeah.
That essentially is the realistic timeline of a human life, right? The realistic timeline of a human life. And it basically, and I'm going to share it with you right now, and also I'm going to share it with you. And the realistic human life is essentially, where is that? Let me bring this up on the background so I can share this. There we go. The realistic human life is like, let's say you live somewhere. We all think we're going to live to 100. But you know what? In the United States, the average life expectancy is for men is 79.7 years for overall. For women, it's 82.23 years, and for men, it's 77.27 years. So in other words, if you're a woman, you can expect to live to 82. If you're a man, you can expect to live to 77. That's it. So now let's look at that. If each of these squares is a year of your life, and let's say you're 48 years old, guys, this is what you have left. This is what you have left. And you see there's a color scheme here. There's white and yellow. What the yellow means is that most people in the United States after the age around 64 develop health conditions that massively decline their quality of life. So really, if you look at that, you have a healthy life. Most people have a healthy life until they're about 63, 64, and then they're sick for the rest of their life, and then they die. So you think about, oh, let's go work for the man until 65, retire, and then go travel around the world. For most people, that just doesn't work because their health is no longer in the condition that it should be in order to make that work. Is that a scary thing, guys?
It is. But
Is that a scary thing? But is it true?
it's reality. Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Yeah, guys, who thinks this is true and this at the same time this is scary? But here's the thing. So now what if you're 54 years old? This is what you have left. What if you're 60 years old? Guys, this is what you have left. So my question to you is, what are you going to do with the years that you have left? There's a saying, it's called youth is wasted on the young. Because when you're 20, you don't realize this, and you think you have all these years left, and you just like sleep all day and party all night. And when you realize that you're in your 50s, all of a sudden, 30s, 40s, 40s, 50s, 60s, you realize you don't have that much time left. So you have a choice to make, and that's why I asked you to be committed for this entire week. Your choice is, are you going to spend the remaining years that you have doing exactly the same that you have all these years before, and as a result have exactly the same results and have exactly the same life that you have, that you're hopefully happy with, but chances are you're not 100% happy with, otherwise you wouldn't be here looking for something different? Or are you willing to give this 1 week, an hour and a half a day, and play full out to really explore a different possibility? Again, who commits? I want you to commit to being here with us for 1 week, to give it your all and really explore this possibility. Put in the word commit by agreeing to commit to being full in, and put it in there. I would love to see several hundred commits right now. Because let me actually share with you one extra thing. And that is, the extra thing is the following here. This chart shows life expectancy by income. In other words, if you're homeless, your life expectancy is barely over 70 years old. If you're in the top 10% of life expectancy, or top 15% of income, your life expectancy all of a sudden is over 85 as a man and 88 as a woman. And if you're in the top 3%, your life expectancy as a man is 87, and as a woman, something like 88 or 89. In other words, high income makes you live longer. Why is that? Of course, because you can afford better health care.
Right.
You can afford better food.
Lower stress.
You have lower stress. Right? So this is what we want to do here. Like, if you're here, and by the way, the top 5% income is only $250,000 a year. Now, that might sound high to you or not, but the point is, 5 $50,000 deals a year get you to be in the top 5% of income per year. 5 $50,000 deals per year can get you into the top 5% of income. And when you have that, all of a sudden you can expect to live to 89, and you literally just added over a decade to your lifespan. Guys, this is the true power. When they say like, now you owe it to yourself and your family to become wealthy and to become a high income earner, because so you can be around those grandchildren, those children, those things for longer and in healthier, and you can travel the world. Like, you guys got this? Right? You guys got this? Like, who's with me on this?
I love all the committed people in this group right now. And I don't think you guys realize this is a life-changing event that you are participating in. So this has the opportunity to completely change your life. In 1 year from now, your life can look completely different. So you guys stick with us through this week. You're going to get a lot of great info.
Yeah, exactly right. So in summary, we realize that we're in a K-shaped society. We want to go cater to the upper leg of the K. To those with income, they're looking for land. They're looking for land to have a safety blanket. They're looking for land to build that house on. They're looking for a ranch to be homesteading in. They're looking for a place just to put their money. Like in crazy times that we live in, people put their money in gold, silver, crypto, and land. Right? They're looking for land to part in an area that is up and coming, in an area that the city moves towards, or an area that's just the money is safe, and as the government prints money and your cash in your bank gets devalued and it becomes crap, like, guess what? All these assets are going to be flushed up, and that land values explode over time, and gold and crypto and all this kind of values go up, and so they're putting this money in there, and you can be at the key position of finding at the same time, people with no money are looking, or people are freaking out and they're letting go of their land that they're sitting there that because they need cash, as you said. So you're in the key position of being a key person who gets the land for cheap and be able to sell it to the people for much more, or pass it on to developers, or partner with us on developing. And we're going to cover all of these strategies and all of these steps over the next few days. But for now, what I want to leave you with is a homework. So the way that this work is, you had me at K. Well, good. I'm glad. The way that this works, guys, is the following way. We have a Facebook group. So what you want to do is you want to go into the Facebook group, and the team is going to put the link to the Facebook group right now here into the chat box. You want to all be, if you have not yet joined the Facebook group, join the Facebook group. Like a lot of you were invited when you registered for this training, for the summit here, you were invited to join the Facebook group. But if you haven't yet, go join the Facebook group. And then in the Facebook group, the moment we're done here, what we're going to do is the team is going to drop a post in the Facebook group. And what you're going to do is below that post, you're going to click on comments. And then you're going to comment and answer the following question in the comments underneath that Facebook post. And that Facebook post says, write down what land profits, how much profits do you need to generate in the next 12 months to change your life? And why does that matter for you and your family right now? So what I encourage you to do is do what I did in the demos. Go bring up Zillow, look at some markets, look at how many properties sold and things like that. Do that in your free time, play full out. But most importantly, I need you to do a little dream building right now, because we're going to be a week together, and nothing happens if you don't have a goal. Nothing happens if you don't have a vision. And the vision is not make more money. Courtney, if you want to make money, here's a buck. You have more money, right? No,
right.
That's not what we're talking about. We want you to have an exact picture of how much money. As a matter of fact, put it in the chat box right now. How much money would you need to make in the first 12 months of doing this business for it to be a life changer for you?
What would that
100K? What would that be? Right? And how many deals would that be? Like 100K to 500K to 50K
right.
to 50, 200, 250, 125, 50, 250, 5 million, whatever it is, it's fine. You put it in there. And that's exactly what you're going to do in the chat box, in the Facebook group, but then add something to it. Add a sentence or two and tell us why this is important. Because if you just put out there, yeah, I want to make $500,000, sure. I want to make $500,000 extra. I want to make $5 million extra, but
right.
Why? What we find happens is that you guys had a big why.
Yes.
You had a thriving business. You made 6 figures,
right.
But you hated your life.
Right. I wanted my life to be different. I wanted to be there for my family and friends, my godchildren, and we're able to do that now. You know,
Yeah.
if something were to happen, I can get on a plane in 2 hours from now, and I don't have to worry about anything. You know, I got to be there for my family. My husband was there when his mother was going through her cancer, and we don't live near her, but he was there every other month, taking care of her, prepping her meals, getting them frozen, taking her to, getting her meal prep all ready, taking her to the doctor. And, we were paying her rent so she didn't have to worry about any, financial stress. And that means everything to me. Like, I want to leave a positive impact on the people I love. And we're that pillar in our family. Yeah. So I love it.
And they put that in writing before
Yes.
it even happened. Obviously not the cancer, that was unexpected. But
Right.
You put the goals of being there for the family, of being able to travel to the family, of taking care of the family, of being there
Right.
for your loved ones, of having the free times where you don't ever set an alarm clock, right?
Right.
As you mentioned. I love
Yeah,
that.
I don't wake up to alarm clocks unless I'm going on vacation or going for a morning hike. And that's about it. So when I hear alarm clock, I wake up excited, right? Who does that? Who out there hears their alarm clock and is like, yay? Because most of you are probably like, oh crap, I got to get up and commute and go to work for somebody else. Where I wake up happy because I'm working for me and my day looks like exactly what I want it to. So
exactly right. So when you answer those things, like, do me the favor and take that seriously, what I just asked you to do. Because if you don't put the emotional energy behind it, chances are you're not going to take that next step. You're just going to treat this as 5 days of nice education, and this is cool, this is fun, and then your life continues as is. If you want to pivot in your life towards a multi-six figure income with land, you got to have intention behind it, and you got to have more than just a dollar figure behind it. You got to have emotional pizzazz, emotional like grit behind it, and you have to have a reason that is more than just money.
Right.
So find that reason, put that into the comments, play full out, commit, and be there. And with that said, thank you, Courtney, for being here with us.
Always a pleasure.
Right. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific again for session number 2, where we go into the entire marketing of like contacting these owners, following up, and again, focusing on these different kind of high profit asset classes that we talked about today. And we're going to blow you away with what's working today, because again, if you're using what you have done 2-3 years ago, you're going to be blown away tomorrow by the AI solutions we show you, by the different strategies we're now applying in our business. It's completely different than anything we have shared ever before. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. See you guys tomorrow.